competition. You're currently sitting at 2-1.
First match was versus Hellraisers. It was really hard match for us. It was 2-0, but they played really great, I think. But there is no Isa, so they playing with standing. I don't know. Maybe they can beat us with Isa, but I'm not sure about that. Second game was versus Gambit. It was 2-1 for us. We lost first map, we won second map, and we won third map as well. It was really confidence match, but we every time lost to them before, and we tried to win them. Third match was versus FaZe. First map was overpass. We lead 5-0, I guess, but we lost 16-6. It was really nervous map for us, but we refreshed our mind before second map, and we won Inferno. It was really confidence for us, and third map was Mirage. We lost it. I don't know. We just tried to win them, but we lost. We will try to do our best in the future.
Yeah, you know those losses can happen. And now, today, you're going up against SK. Feel free to give me some quick thoughts about them.
SK is a really good team. For me, it's a top 1 team. At this moment, we will try to do our best versus them. We was prepared for them. We will try to win them.
Well, I imagine you guys are well prepared, and best of luck, Electronic.
There you go. Now that was Electronic, and that's the first time I have heard that man do an interview. And you know what? It takes. I was expecting him to do it in Russian, but he bossed it.
His Russian accent sounds like your imitation of the Russian accent.
Well, I don't ever know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
Well, sometimes we role play and you do the Russian accent, and it sounds very similar. He's got a very deep voice. I wouldn't be expecting that from him.
No,
Role play and he does Russian accent.
Yeah.
Who are you, James Bond?
No, I'm the Australian guy.
He's the Australian guy. That's what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So roleplay aside, he has just acknowledged that he believes SK to be the world's best team, and that seems to be kind of a, Chad's in the same boat. But I mean, we've never heard you, Yanko. You never chimed in with the same conversation.
He's a FaZe fanboy.
I think it's very difficult to judge when there hasn't been a tournament in so long where everyone was there and fielded their lineup. I mean, SK with Phelps at the major. Here they have a full lineup. I think we're going to get a much better picture after this tournament in Katowice next week to see how teams perform over the course of 2 LANs. There's going to be a lot of best of 3, so no best of 1 upset nonsense, nothing like that. So I'm going to wait after Poland before I voice my opinion. But the usual suspects are always there. SK, obviously FaZe, Cloud9 recently.
Yeah.
I still think it's only between the two. It's a 2-horse race at the moment. I don't think Cloud9 are going to be able to continue to stay at the top continuously. I think they're much better than they were. I think it's fantastic that they won the major. I don't think we're going to see them win tournaments as consistently as a FaZe or an SK, or even potentially an Astralis of old.
So now I have to ask a follow-up question, though that may not necessarily be coherent with the series. I am intrigued as to why. What do you believe that those two have that Cloud9 don't?
A lot more diversity.
Diversity.
Yeah, I think they can approach the game in a lot of different ways. And Cloud9 at the moment, they're just playing off of confidence. And sure, it's fantastic that they've learned off of these guys and they're able to, mimic some of the play style. But their approach needs to be aggressive. I think it needs to be confident. And SK and FaZe can do a little bit more.
Paul said it yesterday in the post-game interview after the game versus Cloud9, saying that they're playing with a lot of confidence. That can be good, but it can also be bad because you can make some mistakes because you're overconfident, and then you can get punished for it. And that's what SK did to them yesterday and FaZe the day before that.
Yeah, absolutely. I did just take a quick glance as well when we had that break. I walked into the studio, the gaming arena, whatever you want to call it. I just was interested to know what players are doing while, as you can see, you do this camera shot, they're talking, whatever. But I was interested to note that Taco was listening to music and just basically throwing every flashbang he throws. He goes with no clipping from the map and doing every nade he knew on the cobblestone, then loaded up the next map and was basically running and throwing every nade.
That's interesting. Most people really want to warm up
He was
their
just,
aim,
yeah,
right?
he was just no clipping. Just go one,
Yeah.
throw.
For me,
Now you set him up for more flame. Like the guy just practices nades. He doesn't even practice.
come
his
on, it
aim
was very
because-
interesting.
because he goes in first. I think it's actually smart in the sense that players tend to forget like the exact lineup or exact this or that. So just running through that right before the game, if you already like warmed up a little bit at least, I think it's fine.
Yeah, well, the warmed-up Taco did stand by with our camera crew last night. So why don't we go ahead and check in with him before we do jump into this matchup?
What is going on, everybody? I'm here with Taco from SK. It's great to see you again.
It's great to see you again as well, Pala.
Always putting a smile on my face. Now, you've had 3 matches so far. You're 2-1. Your only loss is to Mouse Sports. Do you think you could have beaten them?
Yeah, we had the chance to beat Mouse Sports on Mirage. It was a tough match for us. We had just a off day or something like this. But still, props to them. They played really well. Mouse Sports is looking good this tournament. And I'm already looking forward to play against Navi today.
And that is exactly what is about to happen. Tell me about Na'Vi and your team. You do have a history of playing each other here and there. And so what are your expectations?
Yes, we played against Navi many times, many. But now they have a new lineup. And against this new lineup, I don't remember if we have faced them. I don't think so. But so for us, it's something really new. And they are looking really good as well with Simple. Simple is playing amazing. Also, Zeus is a great game leader. They have Flamey, they have the new guy Electronic, Edward. So they are a really tough opponent. Every time that we play against Navi was a great match, and I'm really excited to play.
Do you get the same vibe playing against a team once they've done roster changes, or is it like a new experience?
It's like a new experience for me as well. It's even though it's a new lineup, it's still Navi, it's still Navi against SK, and when those teams are playing against each other, it's always a great match to watch.
Well, Epitasio, I'm sure it's going to be explosive. Best of luck.
Thank you, Pala.
New experiences. Taco is expecting big things from Na'Vi, and I mean, it's understandably so when you haven't played. I mean, bearing in mind, SK, when they go into most servers, have a good understanding because they've played against these teams on multiple occasions. You name the historic greats. They've met them recently in semis and finals, in those quarters, in the playoffs. So anyway, and now they stand in the group stage versus a completely unknown entity.
Yeah, and I think they're not going to be too worried in the sense of, like, there's a lot of firepower on that Na'Vi roster.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't all get unlocked at the same time. And SK are the type of team who are going to go in always backing themselves, always with their own game plan. I always talk about the theory. They can adapt on the fly. There's no dramas there. I just think for them, it's, we had Cold Zero say in an interview after the summit, that they felt they played too robotic. I don't think the same thing's happening here. I just think they're versing better teams, and they never seem to get through the Swiss unscathed, right, Yanka? They always seem to lose one.
Yeah, it's never perfect, but they tend to, up their form throughout the tournament. I think for SK in this game, I think they're significantly a better team. I do think the best player on the server is probably Simple, but SK is a team that can negate that to an extent. I think the most important thing for SK is discipline in those, anti-force by rounds or just in general, because when it comes to the pure gun rounds, I feel like SK has the upper hand, barring some, mad individual plays. So you want to, throughout the game, obviously maximize the number of pure gun rounds and not play as much with your, only with pistols or this or that.
Do you see the same thing I did there?
Boltz's mousepad?
Yeah, Boltz's mousepad is essentially a postage stamp.
It's quite small. Really, for a professional player to have a mousepad that small
That's
was actually
tiny,
very
yeah.
confusing.
He's got a high sense, maybe? Or he's just
Yeah,
really likes
I
to
don't
work
know.
his wrist out?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on there. But yeah, I've seen most players have those big pads, they're usually the QCK heavy style. But that was a little bit of a smaller one there.
Small analysis, I admit,
No, I
but it
use
was...
Zowie.
Yeah, whatever you want, whatever you can get your hands on.
Yeah, mine's got my name on it.
That's
Oh,
nice.
yeah. I had one of them. Where did that go?
You lost it somewhere.
Probably. Had
You
my name
lost
on
a mousepad with your name on it.
it. No, it'll be somewhere. I
I've
think it's
got
in my
about
cupboard.
4 sent to me now.
What, with your name on it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Zowie really liked me.
Oh, that's cool. We can see plenty of peripherals littering the setups here, and we're just waiting for an update. Did sound like the knife was coming in just a moment. Don't know where this conversation is going to be going. I'm seeing the fist bumps, and I do believe the knives are going to be underway. And so this is where we start talking expectations. Cobblestone, you've made it clear you have an absence of faith in Na'Vi. Already seen them play it once so far in the tournament. And therefore, it's just going to be a question of Simple doing simple things is the win condition.
I think it's just going to be a 2-0.
Yeah, just
First
going to
game.
throw it out there.
Yeah, I think Fallen will be like, yeah, enough's enough. Let's just qualify for the finals now.
Let's just get in now, yeah.
Yeah. I think unless Na'Vi really can pull the rabbit out of the hat here, it's going to be a really rough time. I just can't see Simple continuously having those performances. And I'm going to say that's going to haunt me because he probably will come out and drop 30 and they'll still lose. But it kind of just feels like he is the factor that I can rely on with Na'Vi, and that's a sad thing to say. And they want to waste time on
the
knife.
fifth round isn't official.
Okay.
Knife round isn't.
And
Someone's having some issues, of course.
You know the reason that I knew it wasn't ready and raring to go is because when the camera was panning across, Edward wasn't wearing his headset. So let's pretend like the amount of time that we are going to now be filling for is completely undetermined, and pick a new topic like Astralis versus Heroic, and we'll talk about that one until this one's ready.
Yeah, I'm totally up for that because that's going down on the B stream. It's probably
Heroic pick Nuke.
Heroic did. We're finally going to see more news.
They
played it
online,
already, right?
They played online in Pro League, and Heroic actually won the 2 maps. So this is going to be quite an interesting series to see if Heroic can do that again on LAN. I don't think it's probably going to be the case.
Pesky Heroic.
Well, Astralis do, they really do not want to be conceding another loss to Heroic. They've done it in the Pro League, and they're feeling the heat.
Since this iteration, since Magic has joined, the first thing that I'm really noticing with this Astralis roster is the double D combo being like the stars of the team. I think that's how it should have always been, right? Like those two guys are fantastic individual players. Dupree hasn't been lighting up too much with the AWP, but just on the rifles, like what I've seen from them, haven't seen all of their matchups so far, but what I have seen has actually been quite exciting and is filling me with a lot of confidence for that team going forward.
I'm just hearing Zonic scream from all the way.
Oh, so of course
in
they're already in the already into the match.
Yeah, of course they are.
Okay.
Well,
so
like I
that's
said, we're
interesting.
cursed by the delays.
It has been a bit of a plagued start for us. Thank you so much for staying with us and being patient, as it does seem like we're seeing some tech issues, perhaps for Zeus here.
Well, Edward still doesn't have his headset on.
I think he just doesn't want to put them on,
He
Stay
likes to-
comfortable as long as possible.
I don't know. I've never found headsets to be too uncomfortable.
What are those mouse pads they've got right there? Is that one that
says Edward, yeah.
electronic using? Does that say Edward?
Yeah.
Interesting. We used to, when I say we, I mean Justin and JKS and Havoc and Azza used to use Na'Vi mouse pads.
Really?
Yeah.
Respect.
I had an SK one, I think, way back, like 6-7 years ago.
There was always a Fnatic mouse pad a lot of people used for a while.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
sure.
this was just like a StarSeries one with a
Logo
the
on it,
K.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you know what? I'm never going to be filled with confidence when
Well,
a player
Zeus is gone.
walks off the
He's
stage.
out. It's a critical issue, of course.
Yeah, he probably needs to go to the bathroom.
Me too.
Well, we all have the natural urges to go to the lavatory from time to time.
And sustenance.
Yes.
Get some sustenance in us.
I wouldn't mind some sustenance after this game goes live.
Yeah.
So, I guess I better find something for us to talk about.
I feel like
Yes,
we're floundering
please.
right now.
Yes,
Alex.
please,
Drive
Alex.
this ship.
Sure, I'll drive this ship.
It's either that or break and then straight to casters.
Yeah,
the
that's
game
always-
is ready.
That's always
that's
an
also
option.
that's an option.
It is, but I love that SK are having an absolute whale of a time, and I think that does drive us towards a conversation I'd like to have, which is, do you believe you have to be having fun in order to be successful in competitive Counter-Strike?
I think you need to be enjoying playing Counter-Strike to be successful in Counter-Strike. I don't know if you need to be having fun all the time because it is a job.
You need to have the drive. You need to have the motivation to work hard and to improve and to go over mistakes and to still compete, right? For some people, that is fun. For me, that was the fun. When people say, when I'm playing pugs nowadays with my friends, and on Face It and we lose a game and then we talk after it, they're like, yeah, but we don't want to try as hard now. I don't want to be calling like the whole game.
Sure.
That's not my goal. But for me, winning is fun. Like, that's the fun. Like, beating someone, losing is not fun. No matter how much I have fun on the server, running around and doing stupid stuff, still winning is more fun than anything else. So I think you need to have that drive in you no matter what. I disagree. This is, I think, a better one. I disagree. I don't think that you need to be a family. I don't think you need to be SK to be the best team in the world. You don't need to all be brothers and all that stuff. I think there needs to be a level of mutual respect between teammates. Yeah. Obviously, you cannot, hate someone you're sitting next to and you have to play with them. That's obviously going to show in the game. But I think it will be perfectly fine if everyone's doing their job and you respect each other and you can play. So you don't have to be like, yeah, but they're so close to each other, and that's why that was with NIP before. That was they're like Yeah, well, obviously that doesn't make you the best team in
Right.
the world by itself.
And in my mind, actually, I could see it being detrimental, the family aspect of being
Yeah.
brothers in arms, just because, like, for example, using NIP as a perfect example, perhaps that leads to, you know,
Stagnation.
well, yeah, for you when you do deteriorate, being unwilling to make changes, being unwilling to, you know, innovate. And I think that, you know, you don't have to be chummy, sure, but I do think you need to be have a lot of respect for each other and be able to
Yes.
actually acknowledge each other's strengths.
Self-awareness and respect are two very important things in life, Alex. And I think a team that maybe mimics that and actually pulls that off could be Astralis, you know, or a team like
Self-respect, yeah.
yeah, like they actually seem to know that, you know, it is a job and they treat it quite professionally and that kind of stuff. And I don't think that, you know, they'd be as sold on that whole family thing. I think different strokes for different folks.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you know, also like we have to be like best friends and all of that. No,
Well,
you
we
don't.
all hate each other. Like we
Like,
work with each other every week, like day in, day
I
out,
think
and we hate each other.
Hate is too strong.
Oh,
of a
sorry.
word. I think
Yeah.
we're fine.
But when the
for
cameras
most
are off,
part.
like right now, when the cameras aren't on us, none of us are making eye contact. We absolutely hate looking each other in the eye, you know?
Yeah.
Things change.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have noticed that. But it's just like that's why I dislike, because you start disliking someone as a person, and that's the reason why you want them removed from the team.
Well, they could sleep
Where
with your
in
girlfriend.
when okay, or in reality, like on the server, they're doing nothing wrong. You're just disliking them the way they handle themselves, you know, out of the game. Maybe some of the time, if you're, you know, rooming, I don't know, something's annoying you, and you suddenly like start despising this person. And there's nothing wrong with them as a CS player. I think okay, nowadays everything's more professional, doesn't happen as often, and so forth. But you know, before, like, I couldn't understand that.
This is why I don't like.
What?
This is why I don't like team houses, because like team houses, what that tends to do is like if someone doesn't do their dishes or someone doesn't clean up after themselves, that's going to annoy me.
Sure.
Yeah, right? That is going to make me super frustrated. And those little things is about being, you know, self-aware and respecting other people. And there's a lot of humans out there.
Accountability, Chad. I
Yeah.
think it's the most important trait when you talk about a CS
Should
player.
start finding people for that kind of stuff, maybe. All right, Alex, give us your best.
All right. It's a knife round. We're going to be seeing some people cutting each other, using their knives to dispatch of their opponents. And indeed, the conclusion is that SK will have the choice of side on the first map of this best-of-3 Swiss system here at the Steel Star Ladder StarSeries I-League Season 4 Finals. It's going to be SK versus Na'Vi. And we're going to be seeing the starter on the choice of side that they determined in this best-of-3 Swiss.
I would be picking the TE side because we know Na'Vi have struggles on the CT side. Get on the board early.
Hell
make it fast,
yeah.
Make it quick.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into this one. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's time for map 1, Na'Vi versus SK. Let's jump in with the casters. They're on the edge of their seat. They have been for some time.
Yeah, it took a little while to get everything started. Thank you, Alex and the boys. What do you think, Moses? They were just very down on Na'Vi. Why is that?
Na'Vi hasn't really showed great things recently.
Took
have
phase
they?
the 3 maps yesterday.
Yeah, they have looked better in this event, but I think it's one of those situations, we've all had it. I think most of us have had it with G2. I think most of us, or at least I've had it with some of the NA teams, where your heart's just been broken one too many times to really, truly
Everyone's
invest
had it with Virtus Pro.
the emotion that you have left. Yeah, everyone's having it with Virtus Pro. Everyone in the world. Except for Duncan.
Yes, different matter entirely. Huddle going on now on the Na'Vi side, obviously, and it looks to me like Na'Vi are going to be starting on the T side and SK on the CT side. So,
Yes, they didn't take Chad's advice.
Yeah.
They're going to start on the defense. I think the one that Yanko made was like the most important, which is Simple probably is the best player on the server at the moment, but
Yeah.
SK's just plays so good as a unit that you can't neutralize that.
Right, and it's not like the gap between Simple and Cold
Cold
Zero,
Zero.
Fallen, and the rest are like so big that
Yeah.
combine 2 or 3 of those and that's it.
Uh-huh.
Still, I mean, it's exciting. I think Simple's been playing at a ridiculous level. I think Electronic has been playing a little bit under his level, and I think he's still in that phase as a pretty young player who's like he's still getting used to, I think, going to these big tournaments, and I think he hasn't really sort of bridged that gap where he can just say, of course, it's just another tournament, I'm going to do my thing, and I think he's still a little bit below his own level, in my opinion.
I think that's more a product of Na'Vi though than him as a player. I think it's
Could
mostly been a struggle of him trying to find his place in this team and for this team to find his proper place within that as well. I don't think they've really had success in kind of figuring out how to utilize him with the other pieces they have.
And that could be another thing. But it'd be interesting to see if he could, you know, just given the 10-20% in a game like this, I think it could have a pretty big outcome. Of course, we're all looking forward to seeing Simple with the AWP. Fallen could be good fun as well. That would be a fun battle between those two.
Two very like unique Alpers in the grand sense. When you think of Alpers, like both of those guys have their own kind of style that they found ways to be impactful. So yeah, if they ever go head to head, that'd be really cool.
Who's winning this game, Moses?
I'm taking SK. I tend to pick SK in most situations.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
We haven't really been going sort of heavy on the prediction games. I feel like it's, you know.
I'm really turned off with the whole idea after the major.
Yeah.
Because they declared Bardolph the winner of the prediction contest, right?
What? Really?
Yeah, even though I won phase 1, and then Sue and I were tied in phase 3.
Okay.
And Bardolph won phase 2, but they declared him the winner because he had the overall number of predictions correct. Although I think that was a little unfair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we need like an electoral college or something for prediction votes.
The electoral college has never done anything wrong. It's never backfired.
That's what I mean. It's yeah. Listen. I'm gonna.
You want to go for Na'Vi, don't you? You're trying to think of reasons to really split. Give me your top 3 reasons you have going on in that little simulated brain of yours. Why you would pick Na'Vi to win. And you can't say Simple 3 times.
Well, then I'll just give you one reason. I just think Simple's really good.
Okay.
Really good with the AWP. Really good with the rifle. Really good with the pistol. There's three reasons right there.
Okay. You found a way around it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I think on paper, SK they're looking like a more stable team. I think the worry is that in their game right now, Na'Vi do seem to have these slumps where they just sort of like for 6-7 rounds in a row, they just seem a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
They've managed to come back from those, which is good, but you'd rather they didn't have them. You know, like it would be better if they didn't have to come out of those. So yeah, I think that is an absolutely worry. You can't really ignore that. I think no matter how much you may like their style of play. It looks like we're about to be ready with the game, so buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's SK versus Na'Vi. Best of 3 here, the final match of the day, and this is going to be a really cool game. Cobble is the one we're starting off on with Na'Vi on the T side, SK Gaming on the CT side. And it's all looking, pretty standard right now. I do like the upgraded P250 on Simple. That sometimes catches CTs off guard. You know, they think they're fighting a Glock long range, and then they get shot down in one bullet. Fur, grenade on him, and doesn't even do any damage, but he's going to fall back, and they're almost catching him. There's the long-range shot from Simple, taking down Fallen. That was at the top of the ramp. Very good way to get started. And first, been backtracking for a long time. And he does eventually go down to Edward now. 3 versus 5, and SK, don't underestimate them in this kind of situation. They still have that incredible aim, and now they're falling back. In fact, catching Taco. That is a mad call.
Yeah, the fallback is intense, and the good thing is it's so coordinated. Look at Simple, still dueling and still winning. Bolts goes down, and it's coldzera to rotate over in a 1-on-5, and he's good, but he's not this good. The pistols are slowly going to start overwhelming him. They've gained ground. That's a good shot, though. That's the bomb down. He's getting the reload. Oh, my God, he's recovered. He might just be this good. Now in a 1-on-2 with no HP, and they have to do it through the door. But he made that very close.
That's just very scary, isn't it? When he's the one that's left alone and he starts to get fired up, you have to worry. Of course, some slightly silly mistakes. I mean, one thing, he probably should have gone down when he was getting shot in the back. The fact that the guy with the bomb is challenging him is obviously very dangerous. But overall, they managed to make it work. And brilliant call at the middle of the round, sort of, flank back and pick up Taco. That was
also to be aware to when Flamey turns that corner to kind of check the flank, he's ready for someone to be there. So I think Taco is likely caught off guard by that. And it's tough as well, because if he gets the communication that they've kind of paused, I think he takes a different spot. He probably sits up in that window and looks through the grate and sees and gets the information rather than trying to make a play. But that had to have felt in the moment like it was a commitment from Na'Vi.
Yeah, it looked like it in every way. And the P250 early exchange there with Fallen, he's not expecting that.
No. And it's important to note what these two teams are playing for. This is not an elimination match. This is teams with 2-1 record in the Swiss system, which means the winner of this goes to the playoffs. here at StarSeries.
Yeah, you definitely want to do it. You do this, you get an extra day off, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
Which is
so,
very important.
Yeah, I mean, that could be good, right?
Go see the sights.
Exactly, that was going to be my next point. Get a helicopter ride. Bolts is going to be going down pretty quickly, and that gives up the B-bomb site completely. Nobody else here.
That gives up the round as well.
Yeah.
So coldzera, Fallen, Fur just going to try and keep these weapons into the next one, and they should. I don't think Navi's going to dedicate a whole lot to the chase. I think they'll chase down in the next round if they have to. Although, as I say that, Edward and Electronic going back towards T spawn, so they're actually going to catch them in an awkward situation. This scout could reign supreme, but Fur's out in the open with nowhere to really go, and I think Edward even encountered more than he wanted to.
Oh, shooting Fallen in the legs. Could have been really interesting if they could get the scout away. I mean, you obviously don't want to run into that next round. Fallen's one of those players that sometimes will just hit, you know, 3 headshots in a row for no apparent reason, and you wanna try and avoid that if you can.
Zeus is the one who could grab coldzera here right at the end. There goes Fur, and yeah, Zeus grabs him. So it's just the scout that brings him. That's actually a very nice end of the round for Na'Vi.
They do have a lot of Mac 10s, but
it's perfect for this round.
Yeah, I feel like we're overdue for a scout, Fallen scout sequence.
You think it's been a while?
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, we deserve it, I think.
Yeah, this kind of FOV Moses, when it's really drawn out, is sort of you know, giving me a little bit of paranoia for some reason. I don't know why. It looks a little bit weird. We are going to be straight into the drop. Had to be pushed over the edge, in fact, Electronics, who's saying, come on, let's go. Fallen, looking for it. They are going to be right on top of him. Does try for the best that he can, but yeah, as soon as they get that close, it is pretty much done. So had, I think, 1 or 2 opportunities there, didn't really connect with them, and as a result, the bomb site's going to fall very quickly indeed. coldzera doing his best chicken impression inside, hoping they just ignore him, but doesn't really work.
I think that's why we saw Na'Vi go so fast-paced towards drop and towards that B platform, is you want to kind of take the long range out of it, especially if the action's initiated through drop. There's not going to be a scout in there, so you avoid kind of the most dangerous weapon that you know SK has. There's going to be another dangerous one in the field for SK in this 4th round. Fallen has that AWP, so does Simple. So investing in that, Electronic and Edwards still on the Mac 10s, so you have some kind of a frontline force that can be aggressive, that can be fast-paced, and a little bit more risky.
Right to the meat of the menu here, right, Moses?
Yeah.
Don't have to wait long for that kind of scenario. Flamey shooting into the wall. Normally something you do if people try and drop on the other side, but this time that wasn't even happening. So just a bit of noise being made. 3-0, and the 4th round here. Still the 2 Mac 10s in play, so they have some people they can sacrifice if they need to. But also, they are going to be lacking some of that firepower, especially long range.
Could also try and mass some footsteps with that kind of a gunfire, maybe set something up for the future rounds. SK's a very experienced...
Oh, he's going to do the wallbang, isn't he? Fallen, he's... Oh, he's still going to go down! Oh, I saw that coming miles away. You absolutely saw that coming.
Yeah, he did that the other day as well.
Yeah.
I thought Fallen was far enough behind the wall that it wouldn't hit him.
No, it's still...
Is it a different angle?
Yeah, the problem is the angle is so steep from Simple's side that it does go really close.
Well, that'll learn Fallen a lesson. And a second opening pick from Simple as well. He fell back towards the B-bomb site and caught Taco playing with the stairs, trying to get information. So Simple was extremely hyped up in the pregame segment, and rightly so, and you're starting to see why. Even if those are the only 2 kills he gets in this round, he's done his job. He's opened it up in a big way, so look to see more of that in the future. Zeus is doing this so quietly. Fur's going to have no idea. Noise is being made towards the hall, so he's not expecting Zeus's peek from that side.
No, he even heard them stepping there, so, you know, all of Fur's mind was on that. Nice shot from Bolts, and I feel like that should have been a kill. Flamey just barely surviving. He even steals the AWP for some reason. Does swap back to the AK-47. That probably is more reasonable. And coldzera are going to be trying to save this M4 over on the plateau. Electronic already out looking for him. Gonna get shot in the back, so that much is gone. Should they fight him here? 3 versus 1?
Let's see their money. Yeah, you can. They have plenty of it. I don't think they're going to be too intense about it, especially because Flamey has low HP. You don't want to send Simple on the hunt with the op because that's just an unwieldy angle. So it's kind of Zeus who's just going to walk around and see if he can encounter coldzera. And he might be able to do it towards the end of the bomb timer if he keeps going. Either way, I mean, a really nice round for Na'Vi. Obviously helped out massively by the fact that Simple gets a spam kill and then a follow-up as well. So 2 quick ones there. coldzera is going to eliminate Zeus right at the end.
Yeah, giving away a couple of rifles to coldzera, but still a 4-0 lead. They save the one M4, and it looks like they buy a scout on Fallen. All right. Trying to see if they can stretch it out and apply the pressure. Max 7 on Fur. What do you think about this? Are you...
I'm not a huge fan of it. But obviously, it can work. It's just a big risk to take very early on in the game. And they're doing it because they haven't fully invested, which isn't bad. Ooh, and Fallen, I think he misses his opportunity for that fight. He goes back anyways, wants to tag him up for the CZ to do work, but it's one of those buys where it can really, really hinder your economy moving forward, but because they don't, invest across every single player, and not too much. I mean, Fur doesn't even have armor. Neither did Fallen, for that matter, with the Scout. So as the losing bonus builds up, they're about to have the full losing bonus, so in the grand scheme of things, it might just get neutralized.
Edward did drop really low, so you have to appreciate the fact that they swapped the AWP onto him and then left Simple with the AK. And yeah, there's still so much time. I think it's the lack of armor on Taco and Fur that's going to make this a little bit uncomfortable. Cold also took like a lot of damage running back through the Molotov. I think he was afraid of getting spammed through the wall, so he didn't even have a choice, but,
I mean, here's the thing. Now that it's down to a 3-on-4, they obviously can't know how low Edward is. You might be able to say, yeah, he's tagged up, but you won't know he's all the way down at 4 and almost basically a free kill. So your priority is kind of like Cold is over at A scouting, and if you get some lucky shots, maybe they can go for it if that ends up where it'd be going. But the goal now is to make sure that coldzera is able to bring that M4 into the next round. Now, thankfully, Na'Vi is coming and attacking the B bomb site, so the rest of these guns can actually get into some action. Fur's going to be close up with that shotgun.
This might get dangerous. The Max 7 at close range. He tries for it. Now they know when they're trying to crouch in for the pre-fire. Fur gets one with the Max 7. Oh my god, a 2-for-1! Fur shutting them down, and that's the end of the round. There's nothing they can do. What a brilliant burst coming out there. All the pellets, Moses.
Yeah, all the pellets. That's incredible. Nicely done from Fur, jiggle peeking perfectly, allowing them to walk in, even avoiding the spam as they're trying to just keep fire at that angle to hold him back. Said I didn't like it, but can't argue with the outcome, can you?
That's devastating. They even tried to crouch in to pre-fire that, so you just walk into a bullet. I'm shocked that didn't work. He has no armor. That's so devastating.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And he's just ice cold, isn't he?
Yeah. Completely zoned in. What a hero.
Well, that's a nice turnaround for SK. Could have had a tough time if they were to lose that one. Na'Vi 5-0. They'd have another bye anyways. Pretty much a full bye, but they snatch one out of Na'Vi's grasp. That AWP is going to be at the top of danger stairs on Fallen. Simple still got his, obviously. We're spectating him now.
And better grenades this time as well. SK able to put more time off the clock, slowly using the smokes as they do over on that plateau. So Na'Vi, what looks like they're still just sort of pretty much defaulting here, waiting for maybe a pick and drop if they can. Zeus has made his way down, I believe, against Bolts. Oh, a bit of a dangerous fight there. Bolts is kind of low already.
Oh, that's so bold to pull the nade out if you're Bolts, and that's why Zeus is able to catch him before he can recover. The follow-up from Fur just barely misses, and Zeus is going to be able to get away, still using all of his utility. It will be a hit towards this B bomb site. They have control of drop. coldzera's watching that. Taco on the stairs. Everyone's kind of isolated. They have to win their own individual fights, and the Molotov is going to force coldzera away.
Yes, it will. Good flashbangs in, but Cold still picks up the kill. They take down Taco through the smoke, and now Cold is fighting at quite a few angles. Finally convinced no one else is coming out drop. He's going to focus the rest of his attention on the A-bomb side, B-bomb site, and it's still a 3-on-3. That's a great headshot from Edward. More to follow up by Flamey, and Fallen smoked off. Couldn't even really get into position, and once he does, going to take down Simple fast. 6 seconds as the bomb goes down. And Fallen now fighting his way through the smoke. This is absolute madness. Close range with the AWP. It's exactly the style of play we expect out of him. He's looking the wrong way, though. Jumping up, and he goes down to Edward. One more second, and he would have had that kill.
Maybe even a half second. That was so close to pulling the trigger. And I mean, that's the kind of play that makes Fallen so exciting, is he understands so much in those clutches that you just have to take risks at a certain point. If you're going to win a 1-on-3, you have to just kind of roll the dice and see if something's going to come from it. Going through the smoke, there could have been someone waiting on the other side of it, but it also gave him the chance to win it. 5-1.
That's almost as bad as it gets with
Yeah.
your SK.
Especially considering their one win was that miraculous triple kill with a shotgun. Kind of feel bad for Taco getting killed through that smoke. I don't think it had faded enough for them to spot him. I think he just started spamming right at the end, so that's going to be stressful for him. He's had a tough time on the stairs. He's been picked off by Simple once. Obviously, that spray through the smoke. He's 0-5. Bolt's 1-6. It's coldzera and Fur with all the heavy lifting on the SK side of things. Meanwhile, Simple's got 6 frags, Flamey 7, Edward 5. Still early going, obviously.
Yeah, that's he would have been able to make a big difference on that plateau, even just buying a little bit of time.
Even just one kill.
Yeah, that would probably have been it, wouldn't it? Edward on the hunt. He's got the Mac 10, so pretty risk-free. And for jumping the gun just a little bit, he's going to be slowly forced back. They already did a lot of damage to Fallen early in the round, so
yeah,
hard to imagine they could do much here. coldzera and Bolts with Deagles, maybe if they were in the right position, but ultimately, Na'Vi are playing this one really carefully early on. They're really not taking many risks.
No, and Edward's done a really good job of forcing back Fur from Halls without committing to that fight, without even really taking it. He's still out towards long. 30 seconds left. All of Na'Vi falling back to the B bomb site. Taco's going to go for a peek. He spots out a lot of information that should draw some players back, but coldzera's already down. Taco's isolated. CZ, he's going to get the dink and the kill, but can't follow it up. Bolt's in the open as well. Ooh, that's a great shot. More of that would be lovely, but Fallen on the rotate just had no HP. It's going to be a 6th round for Na'Vi. True to their form, running down the clock as they start taking that bomb site with about 15, 16 seconds left.
Oh. Rocky start for the Brazilian team. Still pretty early days, I would say. I mean, 6-1, it looks really bad, but they are SK after all. We've seen this so many times,
yeah,
and suddenly they get 5-6 rounds anyway, and then they get to play on the T side. So
Koppel's been like a pretty interesting map for Na'Vi across their history. Because remember, they used to be very, very good on it when they had Zeus. And then when he left, they plummeted on this map to the point where it was like they were so bad on it that you almost wanted them to just play cash for the first time ever in their existence as an organization.
Yeah, it was getting really obnoxious.
So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting pick for SK to bring out. I mean, obviously, Na'Vi not looking lost on it at the moment, putting together a very good T side.
Yeah, they definitely are. Their money is not so much out of control that SK should be feeling too desperate. I mean, they can sort of put a hole in that economy within a couple of rounds. So there's always that to look forward to. The fact that they're keeping these Mac 10 are alive for so long, just sort of round for round, they keep having a couple of them. That's really interesting, you know.
Yeah.
Says something about the confidence level and just saying, you know what, yeah, it's fine. We get the bonus money. We get some people we can throw into a bomb site, and it's all good. And
you can upgrade. You can get a free upgrade if they survive somehow. Yeah. And also, I mean, with SK not having a greatest economy, you have a couple players without head armor. Obviously, they can't factor that in because you never know who's buying it and who's not. But that's just the way that works out for the moment. This time, Na'Vi doesn't spread out too much. It's a 4-1. Edward's over towards A. He's the sole Na'Vi player there, with protection of a smoke clearing out that main connector. And they have control of drop, where if you have the Mac 10s jumping out of drop zone, they can get very wild. And the spam hopefully masking Zeus's fall, so hiding the numbers in drop zone is the big thing.
Bolts has a big advantage in this fight. Last time he got grenaded and he was damaged already, so that made it a little bit tricky. You could see Electronics actually talking to his teammates, sort of waiting, and now he's calling it. Someone just moved. Now first in position, and he's going to go straight down. There's the lack of head armor, Moses. He had none of it, and he's instantly gone. Bolt's turning around for the one return. 28 seconds on the clock right now, and Edward winning the fight against Taco. Oh no, a missed shot from coldzera. That doesn't happen very often. He's isolated back here, still getting a kill, but they're just penetrating this chicken hut very quickly. Simple gets one on fall, and they tried to knife him, but changed his mind halfway through. Vincere, one more kill, the knifes are in. What's happening? Simple! Oh no, that's a huge giveaway. Vincere with the quad kill instead. Oh my god, and no, Cold was not happy. Do you see that?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be there. You could see Edward laughing. He shouldn't be. There's no reason to be pulling out the knives this early in the game, at this stage in the game, against that player. And it wasn't just one, it was two.
Yeah, you could see Edward try it first, and then he actually shot back to the Deagle when he came through the smoke.
He's like, oh wait, what am I doing?
So, did somebody on Na'Vi call the knife? Say, just knife him, he's in the corner, knife him. And then 2 people tried, Simple stuck with it, because he's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, well, all is not lost. It's a tough defeat to take, considering I think that was like a 4-on-1. There was like the time was again running low, but there was just Coldzera surviving, and that's the product you can see in the buy here. 2 MP9s, the Mag 7, the FAMAS, dropping down to some of these weapons to get utility. You do not want to piss Coldzera off. No one, I guarantee you, we never see Fallen in that spot again in this half.
Here's the problem, though. It was a 4 versus 1, obviously. Oh, not bad at all. But they also made Coldzera mad, Moses.
Yeah.
They woke him up. Is that really wise? Is that really a good idea?
I wouldn't do it.
No, definitely not.
Taco's got some aggression, though.
Yeah, we've been seeing more of this.
A lot of teams have been choosing to do it. I mean, we talk a lot about how difficult this map can be for the CT side to get creative. I think that's one of the ways to do it properly. Look at the space between, because of the weaponry, how much space they have in drop zone. Zeus is going to be able to peer into the B bomb site. Coldzera, this flashbang designed to blind him, but timing is perfect, and he's picked him right out of the sky. A follow-up. This is why you don't piss off Coldzera. He is traded out, but he's done so much damage so far away from the bomb site, the rotations can come in.
Fortunately, this MP9 for Taco is not quite going to hold it, and Fur goes down. Still on the bomb site. Bolts with an MP9 of his own. 6 seconds left, and he's going to win that fight. All 3 kills. Picks up the AWP. That first shot out of Coldzera was pretty beastly, wasn't it?
I don't wish anything bad upon Na'Vi, but because of those knives, as a former player, I do kind of hope SK just runs us back in 9-6 the half. Like, that would be like the lesson. It's just like, well, you're going to have to learn the hard way.
I mean, if we've learned anything about Counter-Strike, that I feel like there's a tendency for that sort of stuff to happen, right? You know?
If you learn anything about Counter-Strike, we also know there's no justice in the world of Counter-Strike.
No, you thinking of any specific examples, Moses?
No,
of
course not.
The Tech9 CSET glory days. I mean, yeah, it obviously will have an impact mentally on Na'Vi, right? The more rounds they lose from here on out,
you just think back.
Yeah, the more weight that one moment is going to have.
What if we didn't try and knife Coldzera? Yeah,
in a 1 versus 4 to give them their second round and save the AWP and win another round. Well then, this has got very interesting all of a sudden. 6-3 the scoreline. Obviously Na'Vi still have a lead, but now SK are starting to get into the game a little bit. They did only survive with 2 members in the last round, so their economy is still under some pressure. Oh, what is happening? Flamey.
Bloody hell.
Trying to embrace the spirit of his own name, I suppose.
Did he get slowed down by the nade?
Yeah, I think he did.
Maybe he thought he was impervious to it because of his name?
Yeah, something like that. Cold, just shoulder peeking to spot it out while his teammates are doing all the rest of the work. Edward on 10 health. Bomb is out on that plateau. And that Molotov probably, yeah, well, that was really excellent timing. Okay, a little bit of damage.
Coldzera is so good in that spot. He's so very good. Just down to Edward. And Na'Vi just gave the best team in the world a window of opportunity. And they've seized upon it. It was 1-6. Now it is 4-6 very quickly. And with that purchase that Na'Vi had, that kind of half a lot of players only able to wield pistols, it's going to be a save for Na'Vi.
How do you solve this as a team? What's the correct punishment, Moses, for something like this?
Well,
slap, it's like a ruler on the finger.
With continuing your theme from earlier in the tournament, we'll just take all their pay away. Just dock it by half.
Yeah, so that really cost you. Don't ever do that again.
Like, to do that with Zeus on your team, I can't imagine Zeus is very happy about that.
Simple trying to make up for it. We'll get a swift headshot on the firm. Nice counter boost. And now that MP9 for Bolts has just made him so much money. I mean, it was like 3 kills in the last round, 1 in this one. Slowly starting to get up there.
Oh, Zeus was spotted.
Yeah. And they have no armor.
He does have an AK, so run it back, drop it over to Simple. Maybe not. See what they can create here. Still have a couple of Deagles that can do some work. The problem is they only have a Molotov. And Fallen, we know he's not going to sit still, especially with that shotgun. He's going to start wrapping behind him, so Taco just has to live and keep them boxed in. Fallen close to this choke point in mid. And Navi's not going to go there. They're hoping for a mistake of some kind, rotating all across the map, trying to find one that might cause a rotation, that might open up this A-bomb site for Zeus and Simple. But that's just not going to happen.
He really wants a target here. Anyone to take down with that Deagle be so good. Fallen against these unarmored targets, that's what happens. They just instantly drop. Flashbang to try and make it work. He does eventually get edged out. It's only 20 seconds here, and Simple's going to fall next in line. And Zeus is now walking into a bit of a difficult position. Gets dropped by Bolts. That's what, 5 kills now with the MP9. He swaps into an AK-47.
It's not a bad day at the office, is it?
No, he's loving it.
Now you're switching into a double op setup for SK, so Fallen's going to have one, coldzera has one at the B bomb site, so everywhere you go is going to be an AWP, and that's a lot to ask for even Simple. If he goes for the op, he's got 5,000, he'd have to do it with no armor, so tough decision for him to make. He's going to stick on the AK-47. 5 to 6 as SK have come roaring right back into this match.
It's getting a little bit more scary round for round. Fallen, again, not at the wall bang angle, just making sure that doesn't happen, as you said.
Wondering if Electronic spotted him. I know he jumped up to try and get information to see if there was a boost. Great shot by coldzera onto Flamey. Fur's going to be under pressure. That's Edward, who's taken down with a headshot. Simple to follow, gets the trade. That's costly, though. They're still down a man, and they don't have a whole lot of control of the map.
3 versus 4 right now. Plenty of time, but they are struggling to try and make a breakthrough. That drop play that they were doing for a while seemed to work out well, but now it feels like SK have sort of figured out how to stop that.
Yeah.
And what's the response? That shot from Cold must have looked incredible from his point of view. So hopefully somebody can find that for us.
It's not a whole lot of great openings for him because coldzera has this angle that's so far away. He can get information, he can gather it very quickly, and he can live as well is the big thing. If he spots anyone and misses a shot, he can fall away. So they've kind of have to go towards the A bomb site, but there's an AWP here. Fallen finds that onto Zeus. And even Taco is waiting with him to keep space. Like if Navi actually runs up and tries and gets into the bomb site, Taco's there to fight with the AK-47 while Fallen can feel safe at range.
Yeah, they're going to have all the information when they need it. One more kill for Fallen. Easy kills because he's just guessing every angle correctly. He's just really good at doing that right now. That does leave Simple scouring away from the bomb site with 10 seconds left. So trying to save the AK-47 here. That's going to tie up the scoreline at 6-6.
So, Navi needs to get out of this kind of slower-paced style, which is going to be tough to do now that SK has built up money. But they're getting picked apart by these ops. That's 3 kills for the AWPs in this round between coldzera and Fallen. And if you're going to run a slow style, you cannot just bleed people to the ops at different angles. Like they're just holding angles from very far back with minimal chance of return. So if you're Navi, you do have to find a way to speed up the pace, some kind of a contact play, or get minimal control and then execute onto a bomb site. Get drop control and hit B. Do all the smokes. Force coldzera in Chicken Hut to extinguish a Molotov with his own smoke and really limit his mobility while you take over the rest of the bomb site. You got to do something that's going to prevent you from getting picked off by Fallen and Cold.
Yeah, he's got 15 and 6 right now, coldzera. So they've awoken Coldzilla. And now he's trampling the Sidderancy. They're just sort of trying to see if they can run around the cars and every building is being knocked over. It's not good, is it?
2 of those 15 kills were on players with knives out.
Yeah, that's worth remembering. That was the wake-up call, you know? Smoke, which is going to be challenged by Zeus when it lands right on you like that. You kind of got to do something. Simple going to go down. Zeus will eventually find that kill on Fur. That's actually pretty good. Not easy at all. 4-3 now, and yeah, just doesn't look like they have the equipment to deal with this round, Na'Vi. Single smoke on Zeus. But more than that, as we said, it's more about like what's the solution for them to get out of this. I think that they're still struggling with that part of it. Never mind what kind of equipment they have to solve it with, you know.
Yeah.
Well, how do they crack this one open?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very difficult. We'll see what they can do. Fallen's forced back by a flashbang. Navi's going to reconvene over towards the B-bomb site. 32 seconds on the clock. So again, another round that goes the distance. Bolts and coldzera patiently waiting. Bolts has that off angle, trusting coldzera to cover him from platform. He's going to hear this drop. He hears these footsteps, and this is such a difficult angle to clear when there's a second player in that site as well. We'll see what the timing is for Electronic and Flamey to come out. Oh, Bolts looks the other direction. There's a good kill. A follow-up onto Zeus as well. Flamey does get the trade, but there's no chance of him winning. And now he needs to die. Thankfully, Taco does it for him.
It's odd, isn't it? Because when you're standing in that position that Bolts is standing in, you feel so exposed. Like, it really doesn't feel good standing there.
Yeah.
But if you've got just one person who knows what they're doing, then it is pretty effective. 7-6 now. This is getting out of control. 6 rounds in a row since that fateful round. And we're nearing the end of the first half. And obviously, a pause has been called here for Na'Vi. Just a tactical timeout to figure out how to get back into this. What's your solution, Moses?
Invent a time-traveling device. Go back 6 rounds.
Ooh, yeah?
Yeah.
That would be a good idea. Say,
I'm still so tilted from that.
yeah? I thought you'd be enjoying it. You're getting what you wanted, Moses, the all-out medieval punishment.
That's a good point. We are getting justice.
Strapped onto that wooden horse, and now things are just getting really bad. I think if it wasn't for the fact that SK keep playing pretty aggressively in A mid, I would love it if Na'Vi went for one of those sort of contact plays on A ramp. But I don't think they can do it because I think they're gonna run into someone earlier than that. And then ideally, you want to be on the sort of CT side of A ramp before you found out. You know, like this round, Fur is already down there. So if they were sort of coming, well, I mean, it's worse than that, I suppose. Takes the kill on Zeus. But yeah, that would have ruined the contact play. Let's put it like that.
They took a timeout as well to come up with a plan of action for this round, and it's already just gone to hell.
Classic Fur as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just
because usually you see that peak with an AWP, right?
Yeah.
It's very bold to go with the M4. coldzera with an AWP over towards the B site, and he's kind of trapped in this position. If he gets into a skirmish from here, he can't fall back. There's no cover for quite some time, so he'll just have to fight to his death. Bolts is actually in drop room, and Taco's going to pair up with him. And Fallen is able to play in the double doors and have a quick rotate over if he wanted it, because Fur was so aggressive in A halls, he knows he doesn't have to worry about that whatsoever. Now switching things up. And SK, they're starting to get used to this slow playstyle. Navi's run it so frequently in this half that they've saved a lot of their smokes and Molotovs. I mean, they still have 2 more and a Molotov. And there's 40 seconds remaining in the round, so they're going to be able to block off choke points. This is going to be tough, and Fur going for information. Classic Fur, but his teammates rotated too quickly. Fallen's out of position. He'll beat them over there. The question is, how much ground can he gain into the A site before they hit? Here he is jumping out. Flashbangs to delay, and the Molotov going to restrict his movement, but he's still going to get in front of it with the AWP.
He really wants to be here and buy time for his teammate. That's exactly what's going on right now. Taco's going to go down in return for Edward. 16 seconds on the clock. They need to find a way to do it. Simple getting 1 more kill, but coldzera up on high, getting it in return. And Electronic now, 1 versus 2, trying to make the jump on over. Fallen's going to take care of him. It is a teammates for Team SK, and that is 8-6. 15th round coming up now. And just completely out of control play from Fallen there. Just buying so much time by being there.
Yeah, but like that one smoke just froze the entire Na'Vi team. Yeah. Like no one wanted to move into the bomb site, and like Na'Vi should know better considering how frequently they run down the clock. Like if you're going to execute onto a bomb site with less than 30 seconds remaining, you can't be scared to go through a smoke if you need to, or trying to aggressively attack Fallen. You can only kill one of you before you trade him. He's got an AWP. SK's, I mean, to be fair, their rotations got there just in time. Some spam coming through is going to force Fur away from the angle. And that's a nice shot from Zeus. That's a return from last round, and Fallen's got the trade. He's going to go for more. Oh, he can't adjust in time. So Zeus still pressing the issue with 2 kills. Taco's going to rotate out, and Electronic and Flamey both hear this. It's Bolts in the A bomb site to hold this down, but Zeus has had enough.
Yeah, what a round coming out of him. Wants to win the 15th, and they're going to get the kill on Taco as well. Cold Zero this time, I suggest no knives. And indeed, it will be the AWP for an 8-7 finish in favor of SK Gaming, which is by every measure a great first half for them. They're going to be happy.
It's just so mental, isn't it, that that just happened? SK just off that 1v4 from Cold Zero just rattles off 7 straight like it's nothing. And Na'Vi never really fixed the issue of getting around the double up. I mean, I don't think they ever really solved it, even though that last round was great that they win. Incredible shots from Zeus, an incredible round from him individually, but they never tactically were able to get around the ops. I mean, Fallen and Cold Zero just destroyed them.
Listen, Moses, I think it's a learning experience for everybody. I think it's going to keep us on our toes. We all remember, you know, just...
Never forget where you were when Cold Zero won a 1 versus 4 against people trying to knife him.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, obviously, he would have died immediately if they hadn't done that. Like that, he's behind that chicken coop, and there's just
half
no
of it smoked out. He can't win that round. You just keep him pinned in.
So second half is going to be coming up now. Na'Vi playing CT side and SK going to be on the T side. This will be interesting. I mean, you know, they do have obviously the power of someone like Simple to hold a bunch of the map. If you can get the AWP, then it could still be a pretty interesting second half. But SK obviously are great at this as well.
Simple had a great half. 16 and 9 for him. He's matching Cold Zero at 16 frags. So that's very, very good. Actually, both teams pretty much identical on the scoreboard. I think it's just Bolts has 12 kills and Flamey has 11, which is kind of differentiating. Other than that, I mean, it's only 1 kill difference between the 2 squads overall. Here's a pistol round, and this is interesting. A complete retake on the B bomb site. Zeus is aggressively pushing for information, but SK Gaming might be confused about why there's not a single player in the B site.
I'm confused. Oh, but that kind of crossing kill is worth its weight in gold when you were retaking, just to make it a 4 versus 5. There is obviously a double flank coming in, but Taco's already taken care of one. He knows Electronic is there, so they can guess where the rest are. Edward's going to take down Bolts. It's still a 3-on-4. The bomb's only just gone down. There's Simple, Fallen next. A lot of trading going back and forth. He might actually do this, but Taco with a really quick flick takes down Electronic. And now he's going to drop to Flamey. I mean, how did they even do that? They're going to have plenty of time for the defuse. I'm so shocked that they managed to just stroll into that bomb site. I don't think I've ever seen someone play retake on B like this in a pistol round.
I was going to say, I think it has to do with 2 things. I think maybe part of it is obviously the kill that Simple gets. That 1 kill to give them a man advantage is huge. And I think, too, SK probably one of the most prepared teams in terms of Counter-Strike theory and how to handle every situation. Probably doesn't have one prepared for a 5-on-5 retake on Cobblestone. We don't see that very frequently whatsoever. Even I thought... Honest to God, I thought Taco winning both those fights on Long B was going to seal that round for SK, but a great, great retake. Brilliant shots from Na'Vi.
SK have taken up the challenge. They get the bomb plant, so we would, well, before this tournament, we would have expected them to buy AKs in the next round, but they say no. We're just going to follow the trend that's been set here in Kiev, and instead going to go for some upgraded pistols and a UMP. No AK.
Yeah, no one dropping an AK-47 over. Which could have been helpful. See the kind of execute they come up with here, because they have full utility. That's kind of the benefit of going this route over grabbing an AK-47 is the utility that you have. They want to take control of drop. Fur's going to lead the way with help of a smoke out to the left. He's seeing if there's going to be any response in terms of a peek, and there's not. 4 players for Na'Vi are kind of sucked and pulled over towards this B bomb site. Zeus will have a quick rotate back if needed. Flamey's playing it pretty passively and hasn't seen anything. Now they're going to sink even farther into the bomb site.
I feel like in a round like this, from Na'Vi's point of view, the sooner you get the information that you're playing against armor and upgraded pistols, the better. Like, you don't want it to be when they're fighting right on the bomb site, right? You need to get that information a little bit earlier so everyone can sort of get ready mentally and then hopefully get into better positions. This Molotov, though, is going to be absolutely huge, isn't it? 30 seconds, goes down. That's the bomb trapped on that side. In fact, Bolts tries to fight it, but that's going to buy so much time. And then the follow-up smoke. Zeus is doing a great job, but finally, they managed to take him down. It might not have been quick enough, though. Shot almost drops Flamey. Fallen very low on health, and he's going to be alone 1 versus 3. Edward to take him down. Yeah, Sue's only got the 1 kill, but I feel like that was a lot of pressure that suddenly they had to deal with over on that side.
Yeah, the Molotov and the smoke, and then obviously just how long he was able to survive at that broken wall. And even Taco probably wanted to pressure APC in the bomb site quicker, but had to go help Fall and take care of Zeus, or else they definitely would have lost the round. So really good job from the Na'Vi captain. 9-8. Both pistol rounds going the way of Na'Vi, and they've at least sustained for now, and this should get easier. Fallen actually buys 1 Molotov and a P250. I wonder what exactly that 1 Molotov is for.
Killing people with fire, Moses.
Yeah, but only 1.
It is optimistic.
So where are they going to put it?
It's a good question. Maybe it's just an attempt to try and get a bomb plant or something, you know? See if you can force someone out of position and run in for it. Electronic certainly getting a little bit overwhelmed. He did get 2 kills. Cold Zero with a double in return. So they've done some damage, but not enough to get anywhere near a bomb plant. And they pick up and steal the Molotov.
Those bastards.
Yeah,
Don't even get to use it.
What a shame.
Well, we're finally to the rifle rounds.
Listen, Moses, I'm sure they'll give it back to him, you know.
Yeah.
One
I'll get
way or
one
another.
back, yeah. It all breaks even. 3 AK-47s, 2 Galils. The AWP is out in Simple's hands, so he's someone who can really start to dictate the action. At least in this round, he's got a big advantage in weaponry. Doesn't have to worry about having to duel another AWP.
Just a flash to break up in case a lot of people kind of sort of jump around the corner. Maybe that would have helped to slow him down a bit. 10-8 here, and the 19th round. SK Gaming just a little bit troubled at the beginning of this half by not quite having the money, not quite having the equipment they wanted to sort of make a breakthrough. Means they're going to waste a couple of rounds just trying to figure out what's going on. And we'll see what happens a little bit later on. This round is not by any means a bad one for them. The Galil's are a little bit disappointing, but they have so much utility that they can definitely still make it work. And that's interesting. They do check it out, but then they sort of give up on it. Say, all right, just had to make sure no one was in the forward part of the hallways.
It's a really deep smoke and drop. That Fur might try and pressure and go through it. SK, 45 seconds left.
Ooh, Taco.
Oh, he's in trouble. Oh, no, he's not. He's loving it.
That's mental. That was Fallen's Molotov as well. I told you they'd give it back, but Taco just wasn't interested in any way at all. Now, some counter grenades are going to be coming out. Only 30 seconds as they try and wrap around the bomb site, but this is a great strategy for SK right now. They've got a good shot at doing this. The flashbang is absolutely perfect. Taking one down, Sush is going to fall next, and that's the round done. That all happens in like, what, 5 seconds? And then they just win the round immediately.
Yeah, and I mean, they look like they're going to be in trouble if if Taco gets picked off. It looked like Simple was going to have that, but a brilliant shot. And then, yeah, that flashbang blinds the boosted player and Zeus behind the rock. Neither able to help each other or help themselves for that matter. A great hit from SK. And it didn't look like they had a whole lot to work with going into that execute. And it's how tough this team can be. Very, very good at trading, obviously.
You can get actually a couple of exits here. Taco's down. Flamey, not quite sure where to stand. Problem is he does get the frag. I was going to say they have to get a little bit away from the bomb, right? That's why they sort of had to keep fighting it. Ultimately, it will be 9-10. Yeah, what a good little sub-story of the Molotov there. Just handing it back to Taco. It's good stuff. I like it.
I can't believe he hit that shot before Simple even pulled the trigger.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit angry as well, isn't he, Simple?
Good. Cold Zara got angry. Look what he did.
Yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah, let's see what Simple can do when he gets pissed off. 10-9. Both teams heavily invested into this round. This is the last buy Na'Vi will have before they have to save if they can't win it. SK could choose to buy if they were to lose. They have some small reserves built up. But coming out very slow-paced. Taco towards the B bomb site. Cold Zara between them. Fur watching for drop. Fallen and bolts outside of A. And Simple with that up again at the B bomb site, this time at the statue.
Playing that statue position with the AWP is definitely not easy, and I think especially when your two teammates don't have great equipment, because if they lose control of drop, then that's probably the end of of the round for you, at least. It's too many angles to cover at that point. Again, clearing out the hallways. Let's see if they're actually going to do anything with it, or if they just want to make sure that no one can flank them too quickly, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
That's not a bad midway point for the round.
You could also, you know, gain control of this, and you can leave Bolts or coldzera over towards these halls in danger stairs to be some kind of a lurk position, where if he gets aggressive up towards long when a hit goes on at the B bomb side, he can drop Zeus or Flamey as they try and run over, or open up another option for SK later on. But for the moment, it's not happening. Utility's almost all gone for Na'Vi. It's not great for SK either, and Taco's going to lead the way to challenge Simple again. We'll see if it works. Fur timing the Molotov perfectly, but they both lose. Fur and Taco both down. Now it's Bolts' turn to pounce because they have to come towards this site. They have to come towards A, and the the smoke hadn't completely cleared. That's an easy kill for Zeus, and coldzera not even getting the kill, and the time might just run out. I don't know if the bomb can make it there, and it can't. Fallen's already given up. The round's over.
That seemed like absolutely everything hinged on the idea that Bolts could get into the site. If he does that, he can probably lock down the door in the middle and then try and control the rest.
If he completely clears that angle, if the smoke is like one more second and that smoke disappears entirely, Bolts probably sees Zeus and likely wins that fight, and then they have a chance to get into the bomb site. But again, it's tough to call when you're making those kind of reads and those kind of calls to go to the other bomb site on, like, you know, a 3-second window of error, margin for error.
I would say that's a very uncharacteristic round for SK. I don't see them making those kinds of rounds very often where...
Well, did you watch Summit?
I didn't, actually.
Because that's kind of what they were doing at Summit as well.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason why they looked a little bit flat, it felt, is that they had a little bit more of those rounds. And even coldzera kind of referenced it in an interview after the event. He said Summit was a very tough event for us because we played very robotic. You know, you didn't have the creativity, you didn't have all the kind of plays being made, and it was a very stale kind of style that they brought to the table, and it wasn't characteristic of SK. So some continuation of that here as they try and work themselves out of it. I
really, really wanted to watch more of the Summit, but I was working on Secret Project Moses. You know how that goes.
You know what, Anders? One of these days, I'm just going to tell everyone what your secret project is. I'll open up to the bidders. I'll be like, highest price.
Yeah. That
sell
would
it
be
off. Yeah.
That's a really good idea. I'm just doing my best to become the most insufferable person in Counter-Strike. We do have 3 CSAT 75s and AK-47 on Fur, who's down to 31 health, and then we're in the 22nd or 21st round. Flashbang over the wall there, not bad at all. Bolts and Fallen, yeah. Trying to make for a bit of a play on this side, and the other 3 are on the other side with the bomb. So similar kind of setup, but this time just with worse equipment.
Yeah, the tough part is with Fur already at 31 HP, he's been brought down. You're hoping Fallen makes this play. No one's going to peek into that op. Zeus even jumping over the crosshair. So yeah, you're kind of at a point where Fallen and coldzera have to be the ones. The AK was passed over to Cold from Fur because of the low HP. Going to take drop. These CZs leading the way. They want to split towards this A bomb site. Fallen's looking for a pick up here, hoping that maybe Taco... Oh, that should be a kill for Taco, and it is. Zeus is so alone, and he feels it. He knows it. There's a nade out to get Taco. Fur, though, finishes it off, even with that low health. The bomb is down, 20 seconds left.
Oh, that bomb is a really big problem. And Electronic just saw it. They have to get back and pick it up. Fur does it with 3 health while they get a headshot on... Oh, my God! The flick right through onto the last player in Electronic. That's Fallen picking up a double kill. That looked like a round they just weren't destined to win.
No, it didn't. But again, like, it just seems so unlikely. That this is the thing about SK. No one really... How do they win that? They come in with an AK, an AWP, and 3 CZs. And I swear to God, that it feels like they play a style that shouldn't work with that kind of weaponry, but it does. They split towards the A bomb site. They have Na'Vi, 3 players concentrated in B. And some miscommunication as well from Na'Vi about who exactly is watching drop and how well. And I think, was it Flamey that came from the A bomb site that gets caught in connector? He just wasn't even aware that they could possibly be down and dropping. That Molotov holding back the rotations.
Yeah, and that's obviously a big deal. Just that one little issue there. Good shot.
Fallen actually took out Simple. I didn't even see that kill come through.
Yeah, just a little bit earlier. I'm not sure I saw it either. 11-10 the scoreline now. We're in the 22nd round, and Na'Vi have decided instead of to save or go for, I don't know, pistols or something, a lot of HE grenades, whatever the choices could have been, they actually buy up. Mag 7, maybe inspired by Fur in the last round. Edward wants a piece of that, and then the scout on Flamey. This is risky.
That's extremely risky at this stage in the game. 22nd round. SK have made a phenomenal comeback into this, and they're looking to take the lead. Fallen and Taco out towards the long beat. There's a boost up around those boxes, hoping someone's going to take a peek at the steps, but it's not going to happen due to the weaponry, due to someone like Edward with the shotgun primarily playing that defense.
One Molotov landing on the boost. They've been doing that a fair bit, and for good reason. Otherwise, when you get onto that plateau, you're essentially finding people at two different vertical angles, and that's just no good at all.
Again, SK can use drop zone as kind of a launching point. They've been able to get it almost whenever they wanted. Simple's been spotted. He's going to have to fight, and he's going to lose it. Fur with the AK-47 remaining poised. And because of that, Edward, look at the space he has to put between him and that broken wall. Because he's exposed towards drop, he has to stay a little bit farther back. Zeus is cleared out towards A. He's already pushed in mid. He's going to be cutting off the flank. They have to move forward. And Bolts is going to lead the way from drop zone.
Edward runs right into Taco on point, getting a second headshot as well. That's pretty much it. Cold Zero and Taco combining for the kill at the end. Ties up the scoreline 11-11. And we are now getting dangerously close to the end of the map here, and the money is just not there for Na'Vi.
Yeah, that risk is going to hurt them for a couple rounds now. They're going to have to save this one. They'll buy into the next one, but that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just such a good illustration of what happens to Edward's position when Simple loses that fight. You know, just immediately has to play differently. He tries to get back into it once Electronic comes to help out, but still not quite enough here.
And because of the pace SK is taking out, bringing into this as well, it's slower than you possibly expect. Here comes the flashbang. Hold the thought. Bolts is blind. They're going to try and gain ground on him. And actually, they get an immediate dink, but Fallen's going to protect him from long A, and he handles it so nicely, keeping a lot of space between him and Na'Vi as they push forward, even though he got blind. But because of the slower pace that SK is bringing out, even like some of the utility that Na'Vi had, like Edward probably would have loved a counter flash from one of his teammates if it pops up on that. We saw him use a flashbang earlier as well when he had to clear and make sure no one from SK was lurking around the smokes. But just like one flashbang that would have allowed him to close the distance and get aggressive with that shotgun might have been able to yield something. But great entries from Taco in that previous round.
It is funny to me that Taco was on the other side with the B, put the bomb alone over at B, and everyone else is looking for Simple. Not that it really matters, but just, you know,
maybe they want to knife him.
Yeah, whoa, that would be the ultimate irony, wouldn't it, if they actually did that now in a 1 versus 4?
Please.
They should. If they make that call, then
No, they won't.
they won't. You sure about that?
I am.
Oh no! Oh, he's playing a dangerous game right now. Fallen's aware. That shot still doesn't really connect. Now he's going to be spotted. So Fur will take him down. That will be SK in the lead at 12-11. And the money for Na'Vi, I mean, they have to sort of buy now, but this game is slipping through their fingers at the moment.
Because of some of these buys, we actually haven't seen an EVP in Simple's hands too frequently in this half. Like, obviously, it came out, I think maybe they had 2 rounds that I remember. Once at the B platform where Taco deleted him, and then once at the statue in the B bomb site. I feel like we haven't really seen it since.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is the consequence of doing those force buys, right?
Yeah.
It does come back to haunt you a little bit later on. Obviously, I guess the downside of saving a lot and having, like, you know, a few more AWP rounds is that you can get the feeling maybe sometimes that you're just sort of like you're just
giving
waiting
up opportunities, or
right? Yeah. And then if you lose those rounds, it's like, wow, we just saved like 2 rounds, and then we got that round and nothing happened, and now we're saving again. And
no,
like,
but you can always do the one thing where, like, maybe instead of buying, you know, Scout and Armor, Simple buys a P250 and everyone else buys.
yeah, right. I think that would actually be preferable if you really want to go down that route.
Depends, I guess, on, I mean, we say that he's a very accomplished rifler as well, so I guess you can't argue with it too much. But I will anyways.
Good on you, Moses. Oh my God. Oh my god. I need new pants.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. You love to see that. And everyone is rotated away from this B bomb site. Electronics over there. Flamey's now taken down by Bolts, who's going to continue. And Simple's the only one here. Taco's biding his time. Bolts still running distraction at A. This is an interesting fight. Simple jumps up, and Taco, I don't necessarily think he was ready for it, but he certainly became ready very quick.
Oh my god.
I didn't even see it. I was looking at the mini-map. I'm really excited for the replay. I just heard you squeal.
That was, yeah. That was on a different level. I just actually very hard to explain how that works. Man, we had to wait for a long time to get Bolts into this lineup as well. But that was just unbelievable. Electronic and Edward obviously just trying to save the rifles. There's nothing else to do at this point. Bolts is going to be the one to come look for them, and the rest of SK are moving in from the other side. So actually, if he can just sort of hold him here, that would even be really good. Edward will take him down, so that offers a way to maybe escape. Bomb goes up, and they are going to move forward. So that will be the end of the round. 13 to 11. Yeah, we must have a replay at some point. Any point.
Yeah. Oh.
Just so kinky, isn't it? 13 to 11. SK Gaming, they woke up. They were woken up really early in that first half by Navi's shenanigans, and now they're just ready to choke them out.
Navi's insolence.
Yeah. They disrespected them at the wrong time. Oh, that's good from Flamey. That's actually a fair bit of damage. 2 more players down to half health. Not bad at all. That might make it a little bit interesting. And SK actually going very quickly. Normally, I feel like they would sort of try and slow it down, but based on that one engagement, they are pushing right in. Zeus has gone down to a grenade. Electronic will get one on Cold Sierra. And he's still waiting over by Long. Simple with a deagle and no armor. And yeah, a little bit of an overextension there from Electronic. Couldn't really manage to make it work. That's an ace from Fur, by the way, in the middle of all of that. So he picked up every single kill in that round. And is now up to 19. Still a little bit behind Cold Sierra at 22. 14-11, Moses. I mean, this SK team is really scary.
Yeah, they are. When they're playing like this as well. I mean, that's great. Just, I mean, continuing forward, I thought you were right. I thought they would stop. I thought they would pause once they got dealt that much damage and everything, but they didn't even care. They just went up right. Straight up to fight. That was a nice contact play. A nice kind of throw it in for the wrinkle because they, like I've mentioned a couple times, they have been slow this half. So that was a little bit of a different pace that they busted out. Now throwing some early smokes as well towards the B bomb site, going to force utility out, and this is great. Look at how many nades are raining out from Na'Vi. That is going to help so much later on in this round when SK eventually does want to commit somewhere. Much, much easier time. Simple finally has the op back in his hands, and so does Flamey, who has turned in quite the accomplished opera himself.
This is what they need. I mean, if they want a chance to bring it back now, it's going to have to be sort of a lockdown defense with those AWPs. Seems very unlikely at the moment, but let's not underestimate them either. There's Electronic going down the Fallen. He was ready for it, crouching in to drop, and just takes him down. And as soon as that happens, these last 2 players on the B-bomb side are just in so much trouble. One good flashbang, and everything is going to fall apart here. The Molotov, first of all, going to clear out the plateau. And slowly they're making their way up.
That's a nice shot from Taco. Edward's got to back off. He's eating flashbangs, though. Fallen still hasn't peaked. Simple still alive. He can do a lot of work back here. There's Edward chiming in. He's getting involved in the action, but Fallen still working from drop, except he's all alone in a 1 versus 3. He's waiting for this smoke to disappear. He's got 30 seconds to play with.
Chance it. He almost has to just shoot through that chicken coop, doesn't he?
No, I mean, he's bypassing Simple and just saying, all right, someone else walk into my crosshair, and he's found Simple. Simple had no idea he was there. 20 seconds left now in a 1 versus 2.
Maybe trying for the shot through. That actually almost connects, and oh, mid-air shot doesn't. And that's probably the time here. 10 seconds. He really desperately wants to. Oh, he makes the jump up. That's so ridiculous. And he goes for the shot. 3 seconds left. Fallen turning around. Flamey's right on the other side of the rock, but Fallen has no way to know. Oh. He still gets the ace at the end of it after losing the round. This guy is an absolute god. Nobody does that in the middle of a game. That KC jump onto the box is definitely not easy to hit.
No, it's not at all. What brilliant movement, showing off his skills. But he did struggle with it. He did fail the first time, right? He had like 1 or 2 attempts at it, and if he had hit it on one of those, he would have had like 4 or 5 more seconds to play with. But what a brilliant, brilliant thing to come out with in the middle of a game. And by the way, even though he loses that, the fact that he jumps up and gets both those kills at the end of the day, the buy that's coming out of Na'Vi is going to be so busted. They lost all 5 players in a win. They are going to have such little money to play with.
I swear, Moses, if you took 100,000 people and put them through Counter-Strike school, and let's just say,
Fallen's got one of those.
Yeah. So if he did that with just a bunch of people, even out of the ones that showed talent, very, very few of them would be able to play like this. That's just that there are only like, I don't know, 4 or 5 people in the world that play like this. It's so insane.
There might only be 1 or 2. It's like
maybe
it's like him and
1 or
Simple.
2. So incredible. You can't even imagine what it takes to do that. 14-12. They did lose the round, although obviously Fallen took absolutely everything from them. They win it, and they have to play the next one with an MP7.
2
Max
shotguns.
7s, yeah. I mean, this is...
No, they have 1 kid on Simple.
Su's doing his best snacks imitation over here. Flashbang goes in, and wow, that's absolutely perfect. Bolts this time, the one to be returned upon.
Payback. Oh, this spot from Electronic. This is going to be tough. Is Fer going to get caught off guard? Oh, no. 4 HP left. That's going to be so frustrating. Because you never know as well with that shotgun if it did 96 damage or if it did, like, 40 damage.
That's true. It does seem
It does seem a little bit random at times, doesn't it? Either way, SK is going to be happy with the 1 kill. The AWP is passed over to Fer, so he can stay back with that low HP. I really like, by the way, this is in that previous round where Fallen almost won the clutch. I really like the transportation back to like that old meta of like having an AWP and drop zone to pick into that B bomb site. That's very, very cool. Zeus is going to get some action. They're trying to do a contact play. This is quiet. No nades being used, and it's successful. That's why you do it. That's why you take the risk. It's a free bomb site, essentially. Navi's going to be stuck in connector, and they can't go for this.
No, they just can't. Imagine if you're Zeus. I mean, you just checked it, and then you had 5 seconds when you didn't, and that's where you died. I mean, if the timing is a little bit different, then maybe he checks it while Taco's looking the other way. Yeah. So that's just a little bit brutal, but it will give another round to SK Gaming, making it 15-12. So they are at map point here. The first map, obviously, the best of 3. If you are just joining us, then there's much more to come still. Na'Vi, they've had a rough game. I feel like this has been an emotionally draining game for them. It has to have been.
Yeah, they're not laughing now. Edward has gained ground out towards the T side of middle. He wants to take guns away from the opposition. Flamey's going to be at the top of the stairs, and this is about all you can really hope for if you're Na'Vi, is Edward getting 1 or 2 kills right here at the end. Is he going to swing out just a little bit? Doesn't matter because SK's not showing themselves. So they're on map point for this opening map of Kabul.
What's really depressing is the fact that Na'Vi don't have anything to fight this round with. I mean, just the money just doesn't really exist for them. So it's been a solid team performance from SK Gaming. Vincere obviously did some of the work in the beginning, but I feel like he's been caught up to by the rest, and now it's just looking really good across the board here. They need to win 3 in a row, put it into overtime, and I feel like when you have this kind of weaponry, you probably need to take a risk at some point. Maybe not, it doesn't have to be right in the beginning, don't have to just run through, but eventually you have to decide to do something, because just waiting on the sites, that doesn't even work when you have rifles against SK. So.
No. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's always a gamble. It's just so difficult to decide where because you have such specialized weapons, right? Like the best long-range weapon you have is a FAMAS, but the SMGs, you got to get them reasonably close. So it's going to have to be like almost an impromptu timing. Tough part about it as well is like SK, for the most part, has been like operating in like smaller groups, so you can't even really coordinate some kind of a flash peek where you could blind 3 or 4 guys and do some kind of multi-kill spray on. The most you're going to take out at one point at this stage in the round is just like Taco. And then, I mean, SK is going to be able to return from that. Bolts Fallen and Coldzera are going to clear out A halls. while Fur and Taco just keep an eye over towards the B-bomb site, perhaps for that exact kind of play that you just mentioned, some kind of aggressive performance. And Flamey, this is risky. You're pinned down. They're going to hold you in there. They're going to throw the Molotov. Now you have to run, and now you have to die. Great shot from Fallen.
He got spotted going in there. So he thought he could sneak in and be a little bit of a ninja in the corner. Didn't really work out. Su's playing a close range with the season at 75. He got them to kill in the last round, and they're going to need backup over here. Su's is calling it in. Electronic is making his way that way, but it's going to have to be quicker than this. Need more people here. They're going to check the corner the hard way, and Bolts will get the kill. Now it's all falling apart here. 5 versus 3. They're low on health and running out of time a little bit, SK Gaming, but the bomb is making its way up, still hiding in the corner. He's going to be, oh, well, was Electronic. Bomb does go down in time, and now it's a 1 versus 4 for Edward. Sneaking in, Fallen takes the kill on him for the triple. That's 16 to 12 here as they do take down Na'Vi on Cobblestone. Moses, you got your wish.
There's justice after all.
A little bit of justice in the universe. A tiny amount, Moses.
Yeah, I mean, it's a close game, like it's 16-12, but it just leaves you feeling like, what if they didn't try and knife him? What if you go back to that round and maybe that gets you 2 extra rounds instead of, putting you in that hole, and you never know where it could have gone from there. Either way, though, SK just won in so many different ways. Some of the individual plays we talk about, that near clutch from Fallen, the great teamwork, the great strategies. And yeah, Zeus looking less than pleased. Yeah.
You don't want to see the lone captain sort of, just sitting there.
I can only imagine what Zeus is like when he's angry.
Yeah, it's intimidating. He's a big guy.
Yeah, and I've always seen him when like he's jovial and happy and everything, but
yeah.
I don't want to see him angry.
Definitely not. Wow, that was really an incredible game. Obviously, there's only the first map. We've got more coming, but yeah, I look forward to the desk talking about it. I can't wait to hear that. Actually, I'm excited.
Oh, Yanko and Sponge are going to be so
former captains themselves.
So tilted. It's going to be good.
They're going to share his pain. That's coming up right after the break. Stay with us.